Hello and welcome to Mean Reviews, No Stars Given, the show where indie authors and filmmakers agree to have their work reviewed, knowing full well that they won't receive even one star. In my book, that makes them all heroes. So my guest host this week is author Michael K. Falciani. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, everybody. Excited to be
Hello
here.
indeed. Great to have you here. Now, before we get right into that first review, just a quick note about comments during the show. And I don't mean the comments below the video. Those are all great. This is exclusively for the in-show comments. We welcome each and every one, but we'll only be looking at them after we complete a review. So a little context would be extremely helpful. Thank you. Um, so let's just get right into it. Our first review is the book The Krampus Clause by James P. McDonald. I actually have a copy of it here. Um, I want to thank him for sending me the book. I think every author could learn a thing or two from James P. McDonald about generosity and general decency. And we have a little announcement. This is a first for us because rumor has it that Little Jimmy is our first developmentally disabled author. I don't know if that is accurate or not, because that's how rumors work. You don't know. But I do want to put to bed another rumor that I heard, which is that I was the one who started the first rumor, because that is completely untrue. Completely. Regardless, if little Jimmy is watching, a warm hello to you, and great job writing a book. So, as to the book, the Krampus Clause continues a tradition we have here at Mean Reviews of not reviewing books in their intended season. For example, this is kind of a Christmas story, and it is right now a week from Valentine's Day, which those are completely different seasons. This book is about Santa and Krampus and magic and bad boys and girls facing consequences and good children stepping up to do what is right, particularly protecting their families. Do you have anything to add to that, Michael?
No, I mean that's spot on.
Perfect.
It's.
All right.
I wish I had read it about a month ago. That would have been,
Exactly.
the holiday season.
Yeah.
But all
All
good.
right.
All good.
So let's get right to the things that we like. I will go first. I like Festivus, an alternative to Christmas that isn't tarnished by the crass commercialism surrounding its more popular neighbor holiday. While I am not great at the feats of strength, I believe that I truly excel at the airing of grievances. Here's one that has been on my mind recently: my chickens. With egg prices having gone through the roof, you would think that having 14 chickens would mean all the eggs I could ever want and then some, which was true before the winter hit, and our impressive snowfall kept the chickens from having as much freedom to roam as they're accustomed to otherwise. Sadly, they got bored. And I've learned that chickens potentially do two things when they are bored: fight and eat their own eggs. Happily, they did not fight one another, but boy, did they eat all of their eggs. It got so bad that we had to buy eggs at the grocery store. The humiliation was excruciating. Lately, I've been hard at work keeping the chickens entertained, so I no longer have to buy eggs. But I'm still annoyed at all the time and money I spent for them to eat all of their delicious eggs themselves. They are truly ingrates. Back to business. Because of this lack of Festivus in the book, uh, I give Krampus Clause, or the Krampus Clause, 0 out of 7 Festivus polls. What about you, Michael? What do you like?
Well, I liked that even though there were horny teenagers in the book, there was not a single love triangle to be found.
I've heard that
We
about you,
had
that you love
right.
triangles and
We
threesomes.
had we had males macking on females, but none of the hobbits, worried about whether or not Toriel was going to hook up with the elf or the dwarf. That's a no-brainer. Obviously, she picked wrong. Twilight, none of that fancy schmancy, sparkly vampire stuff. So for me, because it didn't have any of that love triangle business going on, I give it 0 stars. As Mean Review says, no stars given. I'm sticking with that.
All right. That was an astute observation and review.
I mean, I went to college.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your cannibalistic chickens.
They are.
That was a thing.
Vicious. And what is heartbreaking is when you go and you lift up the deal to look at the laying boxes, and there's just a puddle, or there's an egg. Like sometimes I'll interrupt them; they've just done it, and there's just a hole in the egg, and yeah, it's very heartbreaking. I mean, I have a lot of sadness and unpleasantness in my life, but that's been right up there, with all the family tragedy and stuff. So let's move on. Let's move on to what we don't like. I don't like businessmen portrayed as selfish bad guys. As an unabashed fan of and participant in the capitalist system, I am always disappointed when any of the bad guys of a story are a business owner or executive. Most business owners and executives I've met, including myself, are sweet, loving, generous folks who could never be villains and only perpetrate acts of evil for the greater good, particularly of their shareholders. So this aspect of the book took me right out of the story and completely destroyed my suspension of disbelief. As sad as that is, it forces me to award the Krampus Clause 0 out of literally millions of angelic capitalist heroes. Michael, what don't you like?
Well, I have to say, especially from the beginning, there were some scenes where kids were sneaking out of windows. They're giving kids sneaking out of windows a bad name. They kept getting caught. They weren't doing it correctly. I've been sneaking out of windows my entire life. No, this nonsense. No one's going to check. That's not true. They check. You got to come up with a plan. You got to make sure everybody's asleep. The way that they snuck out of the windows was fun, but it wasn't realistic for me. I remember wandering the streets 2, 3 a.m. Nary a car in sight. Not at 8:30 when the sun is barely set. Yeah, that kind of ruined it for me. That's where I said, you know what? I'm not sure I can go any further.
Well, I had a few comments about that. One is I thought you were going to say it was giving kids bad ideas. So you really surprised me in that.
Oh, I think it's a great idea to sneak out.
Yeah. And then 2, you said you've been doing it your whole life. I'm surprised you continued doing it into adulthood.
Dude, that's where the action is. You know what? That's a separate side story. I'll tell you some other time.
I guess so. I'm just so boring. All right. It's now time for things we can talk about that we liked without spoiling the plot. Michael, would you care to go first?
So one of the things that I liked about the Krampus Clause, and there were quite a few, lots of action. However, I don't want to say too much about it. The family ties and the research that went into this shamanistic or magical realm of possibility, that was quite intriguing. Something I was not expecting. And there were quite a few twists and turns that I said, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. So but the tie-in with the family members, that was something I really thought was very cool. That's something I really enjoyed with the book. Nice. So yes, that was definitely on my thumbs up list.
Well, my favorite thing about this book is when the bad children get their just desserts. Delightful. If the entire book had been about that, it would have been hard not to give it multiple stars. Thankfully for the title of this show, little Jimmy chose a different path. Sadly, I have to note that not every bad child stays punished. Some were saved, even though they were definitely bad. A rookie mistake by the author. I also liked the amount of swordplay in this modern tale. Too few works of contemporary fiction feature swordplay. I would like to see President Biden and both houses of Congress come together to get some meaningful work done for our country by passing a law that makes every work of fiction feature at least some swordplay. Sadly, in our current political climate of extreme partisan division, this seems unlikely. But now comes the awarding of less than a full star to the book. I give The Krampus Clause by Little Jimmy McDonald 1/2 of a star out of compassion for Jimmy's rough luck in the genetic lottery. Otherwise, due to a poor choice of Christmas over Festivus and a capitalist-hating choice of villain, I would give it 1/1000th of a star. But I'm a nice guy. So, Michael, what portion of a star did you give it?
I actually gave it 8/10 of a star because of the lack of the love triangle. That's big
generous
for me. I know romance authors love to throw that in. That's all fine. But I feel like saying, you can't figure this out. Come on now. It's not that hard.
Wow, that's very generous.
Well, I mean, I'm a very giving fellow, as you know.
I do know that's true. Even though that sounded kind of dirty. But yes, I do know.
What are you talking? Listen,
all right.
2 men can be friends.
Can they?
I mean, I don't know. I read that in a bathroom stall. I'm assuming it's true. I don't know.
Let's check the comments so far. We had some people just saying hi. Oh no. And then right away the crowd gets unruly.
Every comment, Ron.
And then a lot of sass already. Yeah, I hope Jim watches this too. Very, very much. Mean comments, no context given. That's good. More people showing up. That's nice. And I appreciate that always. I'm just going to put that comment back up periodically. But yes, I think that is a great nickname for me. Even though I am a capitalist, I don't charge for my eggs because I don't want the liability of providing eggs to somebody and then they die.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, because sometimes bad things happen. So I just give them away, and in fact, use them as a way to get rid of excess produce in the garden. Be like, oh no, I have too many zucchinis. You want a dozen eggs free? You have to take a zucchini. So, yeah. And it was rough having grocery store eggs. Yeah. And poor eggs. Chickens are cannibals and baby
chickens eaters. Are cannibals.
I am making a chicken playground. We started doing several things because of the weather. There's still snow and ice and mud everywhere. I hung some various pumpkin, cut up pumpkin and cut up acorn squash and a spaghetti squash on strings. So when they peck it, it moves, and fights back kind of. So that really, they were fascinated by that. And I spread some pine needles on the ground and they were surprised by that. They're not the smartest guys. But I hope that's true because, I'm going to, as we get closer to spring, I'm going to start building some things for them. I have some.
That's where you can put your lazy river is around the chicken thing.
That is true. I did tell Michael I would like to get a hot tub and then a lazy river at our property. I just need a few $1 million. So I need to get that OnlyFans going. All right. Horny teenagers. Michael is now on a watch list. Oh, Nikki, Michael has been on a watch list for a long time.
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
And that, speaking as an expert in love triangles, Madeline. That is true.
No stars given. That's it.
That is true. Puddle of Baby Chickens. God, that sounds awful, but a great title. I think Nikki can't turn it off. You know what I mean? Capitalism Ron drank deep of the Kool-Aid.
Look, there's a lot of comments today.
There really are. I assume these ladies are all drunk.
See, Madeline knows about the sneaking, right? It's a process. You can't just go.
And it is true. It is no secret how much I hate children. Oh no.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Oh my goodness. Excellent joke.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now you see someone's being naughty right there.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, I am too, but I'm just saying. I'm not being naughty.
Well, this show has gotten far off track.
Wow, no kidding. All this from Krampus.
And then this still seems like a filthy comment. I mean. Well, that is a great question. or a great comment, I should say. The lazy river would not go through the chicken area. They have a big area and it's going to expand this year, but
They
yeah,
have
it would
chicken toilets, don't they? Is that a thing?
no. No, and chickens pee and poop at the same time. They don't do those as separate things. You just get this gloop, all birds. So you get that gloopy stuff. So it's really gross. Although a chicken moat,
Chicken moat. See, there's the moat.
I do like the sound of that.
Yes.
All right, no wine yet. Oh, this is a tragedy. All right, we have to get back to the show.
Oh, right. That's my bad. Sorry.
No, no,
I
no.
played myself.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Those were awesome. Please keep them coming. We will check back in after the next review. But right now, it's time to get to know Michael a tiny bit better. So please tell us about yourself, what you write. I assume you have some books you can hold up.
I do. So my name is Michael K. Falciani. I have been humbly reviewed here with no stars given for my very first book, The Raven and the Crow, Darkstorm Rising. This is book 1 out of my to be 6-book series. This actually won audiobook of the year. And fun note, the students at my high school, at the high school in town, designed the cover art for this book and for its sequel, The Gray Throne. And this book is also up for a couple of different awards, actually, at the Imaginarium. So I'm really excited about that. This is the second book of the Raven and the Crow series.
You own a high school? You said your high school?
So the students at the local high school here where I live, they did the cover art for both the first book and the second book.
And so you don't own the school.
We just gave the graphic arts class, just did the third book also. We just did a cover reveal at my publisher's website. And then this one is a totally different series, although it takes place in the same world. This is called, I always wanted to write a dwarven steampunk novel. So this is the Dwarves of Ram, Omens of War. Absolutely the great. I had so much fun writing this. So these are my 3 novels that have come out, and I am vigorously working on the next 2 or 3 or however many I got. I got a bunch of writing to do. I also have one coming out, an anthology that Ron is doing for his Cathaldi series. So I'm excited about that as well. That's me, Michael K. Falciani.
Great. Where are you at?
Oh, I'm in my living room.
Okay, I get it. It's a secret. You don't
I live in Carson City, Nevada, and
nice.
It's nice and freezing cold. You know how the snow has been.
Yeah.
It has been dumping here. So
yeah,
I actually had to turn the heat on, so I'm finally warm.
We had a very heavy winter, which was great for construction.
Yeah, I'm sure. Everything was buried. My God.
Yeah, the shop just isn't going to happen until the spring. It's been a delight. And then we had water lines run into the basement of the main house, and they flooded when things started thawing. It's been just a delight. All right. I guess I could talk about me. I'll make me big.
Yes.
Hello. I'm Ron Lahr. I cook, I bake, I garden, I write. I write epic fantasy, the 3 books of the Cathaldi Chronicles. I also write humorous science fiction, like You Get What You Steal, that I wrote with Robin Burchett, and which has, in my opinion, my unbiased opinion, the best title ever. And I also write serious self-help books like You're as Stupid as You Are Fat, How to Talk to Women. I have a lot to teach you, all of you, if you will just shut up and let me. Other than that, all of my books are available on Amazon, and I encourage people to buy as many copies of each of them as you possibly can afford, and then even a few more, maybe on a credit card, for your own good, of course. So, all right, let me bring back Michael. And we're going to jump right into our second review, which is No Choice, Caelid Chronicles Book 1 by Mel Todd. This book is an urban fantasy about 2% of the population all of a sudden being able to turn into animals and back again. McKenna is a police officer who can now shift into a cougar. She is filmed during her first shift and becomes the face of all the afflicted shifters as the world deals with an entirely new form of discrimination and the fear and hatred that goes along with it. Anything to add, Michael?
No, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, no, it was great.
All right.
I mean, I can't give anything away.
Exactly.
But
We don't want
yes,
to. We don't want to.
I don't want to
Spoil
spoil
anything.
anything. Right.
And that doesn't give away any more information than is already in the blurb, or
Fair
the
enough.
on Amazon. So, all right, we'll jump right into the stuff we like. I like machetes. If I have learned anything from the Walking Dead TV show, it's that it's a smart idea to have silent weapons available if there is a zombie apocalypse, so you can kill the zombies without making too much noise and attracting more zombies. So I have 5 machetes in various locations around my property. They are not the only weapons, of course. So don't think you can just come over here and try to steal stuff from my garden or grab some chickens for less expensive eggs. But anyway, I think it is irresponsible for people not to have a bunch of machetes or other silent weapons spread around your place so that there's always one near at hand. And as authors, we have a responsibility not only to entertain, but also to educate. So I was quite disappointed that the author ignored that very serious duty throughout the entire novel. Every page, I was saddened anew by the lack of machetes. So No Choice gets 0 out of 5 machetes from me. Pathetic. Michael, what do you like?
This show is so sarcastic. Oh my god. This is what I wrote down. And I know Mel personally. So let me tell you something, Mel. This comes from the heart. There was not a singles 80s reference that I saw. There was not a single Breakfast Club reference. There were no aliens. Sigourney Weaver was nowhere to be found.
It's true.
I did not see not a pirate ship, not one Goonie person. I didn't hear any 80s music. It was all very modern. That was an 80s guy. I hated the 80s, so actually, that's a horrible thing after all.
The 80s were
awesome.
awesome.
I'm actually glad. I was like, I don't want to hear any 80s stuff. For some reason, the people in my generation, they're posting all this stuff on TikTok about the 80s. I don't get it. I'm like, I don't remember it being that great. So,
well, the farther away it gets, the better I liked it.
What, the 80s? Yeah.
So I'm right now in my 50s. I'm like, the 80s were great. When it was happening, it wasn't. I'm sure I'd have to go check my journal, but I'm betting there were some issues I had then.
I had lots of 80s issues. So yeah, I'm going to give it 0. No stars given, as the title says. 0 stars for that.
So we'll move on to what we don't like. I don't like children, particularly other people's children. I mostly
this
like
is
my
well
children.
documented. This has come up more than once.
It's not secret.
I mean, I'm a teacher, so
I'm sure you hate them. They got to be awful. I mostly like my children because they are adults now. The children in this book they're children. So the author has already lost me there. But then everyone is all freaked out about protecting them. Like even when they're dirty and smelly, which is gross. And to me, unbelievable. What sort of pro-child agenda is Mel Todd pushing here? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, don't get me wrong. I am all about indoctrinating our readers, but only with what the impressive Chinese government refers to as right thinking. Not this we should protect all children bullshit. So I have to give No Choice 0 out of 1 far-sighted one-child policies. Michael?
Mine is very personal because I don't drink coffee. I never have. And yet this book has many references to how they take their coffee, how they like their coffee, who's bringing the coffee, when is the coffee going to get here. It seems as though coffee is what makes the entire book run. And that's not the way it should be. As someone who does not love coffee, I find that this was offensive to many of us out there.
Yeah.
I find that the entire coffee industry has swept in and inundated our society, tricking students, young children, to spend on vanilla lattes or things that really aren't coffee, but they hook them early. Now, Mel, I'm sorry. This will not happen on my watch.
Well, I assume that Big Coffee underwrote this book because there is a lot of coffee, and I don't drink coffee either. I'm a
I
more
can't believe
crystal.
we don't. You and I do not drink coffee. I've never met
Yeah,
anybody who didn't drink coffee besides
I'm
me.
more of a crystal meth guy.
Right. Same.
Yeah,
Same effect. With none of the
without
negative
yeah,
caffeine.
that's right. All the benefits, none of the negatives, and that's a message for you kids out here.
Dude, we're going to hell.
All right, all right. Let's move on to things we could talk about that we liked without spoiling the plot. I liked how McKenna, the hero, gets thinner and more attractive as the book went on. Uh, since you're naked when you shift back to your human form, it there's a lot of nudity in the book, and it made it more enjoyable to read that she was getting more attractive. And so I say to you, great choice, Mel Todd. Oh, as was using the less fat version of McKenna on the cover. You know marketing, I'll give you that. So, related to that is how a bunch of the characters can eat as much as they want and still lose weight. In that regard, this is a real feel good book. Another excellent choice. Mel Todd may be a genius, which would make a nice bookend for having our other author being developmentally disabled. Synchronicity, I guess.
Oh my God.
So, Michael, what nice things can you say, or what things can you talk about that you liked without ruining the plot?
So there were a ton of things to like. Action, it's great. The storyline itself was fantastic. The writing was very good. I mean, I could go on and on. But there's something I wanted to point out. At the beginning of each chapter, she had kind of a little snippet. It came from whether it was, a news source or a radio show, and it showed a very realistic side of how people in the world react to things and really overreact and can underreact. I've really enjoyed every snippet I got to. I was like, what is this chapter going to be about? Oh, here we go. So I love that she put that in, because I haven't seen that in very many books before. I really thought that really helped, kind of get me going, especially when I was like, all right, I need to, let me just read. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going.
Genius.
So
yeah, I thought it was great too.
Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
you heard it here.
I really enjoyed about it.
Mel Todd is a genius.
I mean, she's smarter than me, which, I mean, that's not saying a lot, but she's very smart.
I have no comment to that.
I figured you would say
nothing. More like a behind the back thing.
Maybe next week I'll talk about it. Often do.
All right, now it's formal rating time. I give No Choice, Caelid Chronicles Book 1 by Mel Todd 1/4 of a star, thanks to its lack of machetes and ridiculous and destructive pro-child propaganda. Michael?
I'm going to go with a 1/10 of a star, and I will tell you why. The 80s references just, they weren't there. And this coffee fetish that is sweeping across America, not today. Not today. Other than that, a wonderful book. Lots of fun, and 1/10 of a star. And this is a no stars given show. I feel as though that is well beyond anyone else.
I like how you've nailed the recent trend of coffee popularity. I feel like you've really got your finger on the pulse of America.
Dude, I have a whole spiel about this. You don't even want to know.
I don't.
No, you don't.
I mean, I already hate coffee. Preaching to the choir. All right, let's check the comments again, shall we?
All right.
And this will be fun because it always takes me a minute to find where the hell we were. You know what? I'm going to go all the way to the back and just because I promised I would show this comment.
Right. The more we see that, the better.
All right. Excuse me. Nikki has a lot of. Oh, I thought this was Nikki again. Vanessa has a great comment. Chicken moat. I mean. All right. So, Holly and Mistletoe's sister number 6. Wow. Built a pair of ponds last year. She's planning on a lazy river this summer. She sounds awesome. It does. See, it does sound awesome. Maddie and I agree. Oh, Vanessa, I
Thank
agree.
You, Vanessa.
Those covers.
Yes.
Those covers are awesome.
All the credit. Thank you.
Yeah. And I recommend it. Yeah, so that's true. We learned something
That's
about Michael. He's
that
in
is
favor
not
of
true. They were paid
child
by
labor.
the publisher, but it's
It's still
funny.
child labor. It's not. Maybe it's not free, but it's still you're a proponent of child labor. It. Ugh, Madeline's right. Madeline also contributed an awesome story to the anthology, and I
Nice.
I'm moving right now, and my mom has just gotten so bad. So life has conspired to fuck me up the ass in terms of the anthology. So I mean, I want it to be done so bad, but life, stupid life. All right. Yeah. Well, Madeline has some experience in this genre, um, this shifter urban fantasy. Um, oh boy, I didn't even think of that. That's how depressed I've been lately. Didn't even think of a cougar joke.
Was it? I thought it was a jaguar.
Well,
Same thing, I
no,
guess. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
she
Yeah.
said that culturally different thing, but most of the time she referred to it as a cougar.
Okay. Fair enough.
At least that's what I remember. Yeah, that's a good point. Um, okay,
We have axes.
that is a good choice. The great thing about moving to my parents' place to help out with my mom's Alzheimer's was, I was in my 50s already when I moved here, and so I had an adult life worth of collecting tools. So we have like 15 hammers, and 6 shovels. You take my dad's stuff and my stuff. We have so many tools. It is ridiculous. We leave some in the garage. We have some up in a shed. We have, I mean, they're all over the place, which makes it nice if you need something right away, but can make it difficult to find the particular tool. I mean, we have 3 or 4 chainsaws, like one per person in the household. So yeah. Anyway, well, we do have axes. I mean, we used to heat the house when I was a kid. We heated the house with, wood stove. So I mean, there are axes and a ton of hatchets too. I just happen to love machetes. I use them in the garden. Um, that's a great point. Machetes probably wouldn't work very well. I've never tried throwing them at anything. Now I want to. Oh, what a son of a
Oh,
bitch.
fine, Madeline.
Yeah.
It's because you're like 8 years old or something.
Yeah, screw you.
Negative
now, see, this is a more appropriate comment. The 80s culturally, so serious. Time for serious talk now. Thanks for bringing down the vibe. There were great movies, TV shows, and music, and clothes, and hair. Oh my God, I got a few great pictures of my wife from the 80s. I can't show them because I want to stay married, but yeah, me too.
Great pop. I remember Samantha Fox, and I could not understand why people liked her. Coffee. Yeah, see, I knew I was going to get some negative coffee backlash. It's fine.
There are a lot of people here. Well, first, Michael and I were reading the books. We didn't even talk about the show till today, and
Like an hour beforehand.
we didn't even pick our likes and dislikes, and because we have to coordinate that so we don't say the same thing. Like we can't have everybody talking about how much they hate children, especially if they work at a school. But yeah, so this is yeah. Oh, not as young as I thought. If you can't have more than 1 cup of coffee. Yeah, the 80s was great.
Right? Holly and Mistletoe knows.
She's making the argument for us.
The 80s was not big for coffee. That is a 90s explosion.
Yes, this is a hurtful comment because Michael was on Indie Mayhem last season.
Oh, yeah, I got beat in the semis, I think. By Madeline. Madeline won.
I think that is correct. That's right.
Yeah, no, I remember. I wrote it in my man journal.
We'll get you back on, though, because Vanessa is very smart, so I just have to trust her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see? I mean, it's unanimous. All these ladies love Michael. Oh, my God, Vanessa does understand life conspiring against her. This is the second time a tree has fallen on her house and caused massive damage. I mean, she's got it rough. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, you
Tim
should be.
finally
Yeah.
got on.
He missed all the
You
time where
missed
we were
it
talking
all,
about him,
dude.
and
It
there's
was
some great
rough.
stuff there. Yeah,
It was,
there was some great
it
stuff.
was
But
rough.
welcome. Oh, hey, and here we get some knowledge. Cougar, mountain lion, jaguars kind of cover the same depending on location. Oh, well, there we go. Oh yeah, see, Joe remembers. That's nice. And you
Say
did play
that.
twice. So yeah, Joe,
Yep.
he's not 50 yet, so he's still got some memory stuff going on.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I recommend everybody go back and watch all the episodes of Indie Mayhem. Oh, nice. All right. Oh my God, one of my kids was born in 91.
91.
You're the age of my oldest daughter. Well, now it's weird that I read your smut book, not slut. That sounds awful. Slipping the tongue there.
Wow, Freudian
yeah.
slip there, man.
Oops. Oh, let's just move on.
Slut book.
Machete boomerang. I'm gonna try it.
Karina is. I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. The nice thing is they're mostly from different. They're not 5 of the same machete, so I can find out if any of them are good. Maddie is the baby of the group. The funny thing is, my daughter, my oldest daughter, is the same age as Maddie, which is what, like 30 years old or something. And Maddie seems so much more grown up than my daughter just because I didn't know. Now, of course, she seems like a child. Oh my God, that's right. Karita's right. Vanessa's always talking about Duran Duran, and she wrote Duran Duran fan fiction, which is, I mean, that needs to get published.
Yeah, Duran.
Oh my God, that is
every
awesome.
book I write. Nice.
That is genius.
See, that is genius.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Smut book, slut book.
I don't think slut is an awful thing to say, and I mean it's really more of an off the air remark I would make about people. So I apologize for that. All right, so we're up to date on comments, so we can do that. Oh, I'm supposed to do this every once in a while. Please like and subscribe. Please official and subscribe to the channel if you have not previously. All right, let's go back to show. At this point, we're going to say goodbye to Michael. Please hang around in the green room, and I will talk to you in a moment. But I have one part to do by myself. So, it's something new we added this season. Each episode, after we review the 2 indie projects, I'm going to give the same treatment to a famous non-indie book, movie, TV show, album, whatever, for some variety. So today, I am reviewing the first Avatar movie from 2009. What with all the hoopla about Avatar 2, I'm too cheap to go see that in the theater. I'm saving all of my money for Ant-Man 3, Quantumania, coming soon on February 17th. So, since Avatar is one of the top 5 best-selling movies of all time, and it's been out for over 13 years, I'm not going to bother with a synopsis. Excuse me. I'm just going to get right into it, starting with the things that I like. I like humanity. People who know me are aware that I don't think much of most individual humans, but I'm still a fan of the idea of humanity. I definitely side with the humans against any aliens they encounter in movies, books, etc. Avatar does not. The humans are the bad guys in the film. The creepy giant blue cat people are the heroes, like weird hippie heroes. Weirder than normal hippies, I should say. Abnormally weird hippies. Either way, you are definitely supposed to turn traitor against humans and root for the blue cat hippie people, and I refuse. So I give Race Traitor movie Avatar 0 out of 8 billion plus humans. Now, the things I don't like. Not having all the electricity I want. Do you know how much energy I use raising food and animals and keeping my homes heated or cooled, depending on the season, as well as running the enormous amount of phones, tablets, and computers that I have? Well, I'll tell you, as much as I want. And if we were running out of energy for planet Earth, I would not begrudge a benevolent, even heroic corporation killing some trees and giant blue cats to get some, even if it had a stupid name like unobtainium. Making those corporate heroes into villains makes me so mad every time I think about it. So I give Avatar 0 out of a gajillion unlimited, inexpensive kilowatts of power. Things I can like about the movie that I can share without ruining the plot. There is absolutely nothing that I like about this movie. It is irredeemable trash. If I ever meet James Cameron, I will tell him so to his face while I hold a machete, because I understand he's a pretty big guy. But before we go, a final note. This makes 2 out of 2 Disney-owned films that I have reviewed this season in the new popular media section of the show. I want to ensure the fine folks at Disney that this is just a coincidence and does not represent how I feel about Disney as a gigantic mega corporation capable of destroying me and my family, or of Disney's other just lovely products. I promise that next week's popular media selection will have nothing to do with Disney, and I wish them the best of luck with all of their future non-Avatar related projects. All right, we're going to look at the comments one last time, real quick. Whoop, if I can get to them. I suppose that's true. I don't run in those circles, but I bet it is a compliment in some circles. All right. Oh, it was fun. Yeah, see, I hated the first one. Yeah. I Okay, I haven't seen the cartoon Avatar, but Vanessa hasn't even seen him. You are the worst nerd. Hmm. Well, that seems like a serious critique of that. All right. All right. So we're going to move into the weekly wrap up. But before we do that, again, please like the show, subscribe to the Go Indie Now Network, and leave a comment below the show, not the in show comments, but a regular comment down below. Pretty please. And email me at ronlahr@gmail.com if you would like to have your indie work reviewed on the show, or if you are interested in being a guest host. And now, here's our outro.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of Mean Reviews, No Stars Given. Please like this show and subscribe to the Go Indie Now channel. The first order of business is to thank this week's co-host,
Michael K. Falciani.
As usual, you were fantastic. How did I get so lucky? God only knows. Please buy all of their work because they so richly deserve it. I can't wait until you come over so I can make you a meal from ingredients we grow in our gigantic garden. See you soon. And to the 2 indie writers, filmmakers, musicians, or whatever who trusted me to review your work with all the respect it deserves, thank you very much. I appreciate your boundless optimism. So,
For The Krampus Clause by James P. McDonald.
and also,
For No Choice, Caelid Chronicles Book 1 by Mel Todd.
thank you so very much. Please buy all of their stuff to reward them for their bravery. And remember,
It's always time to go indie now.